Good evening, guys. Chris here in Davao. I've just been pondering over some information and feedback from people I've met, foreigners in particular, online as well as the ones I've met in supermarkets, malls, walking in the street, down at the beach, wherever. I've met people. And I've come to the point where talking with them, other than the fact that they've got themselves something like they're diving, and you're not going to be diving everywhere on every island, or they're hiking maybe once in a while, or they're going to go on a trip, but the trip doesn't necessarily mean fitness in any way. It's just kind of like getting on a bike, ride somewhere, get off, spend time in a hotel, then off you go to somewhere else. Is that most of these guys who are here long term, the plan is to try and get a system up and running that is continuous, that you can establish and maintain your health, your well-being, some sort of regime, if you want to call it that. But I've seen too many slip. And we're not just talking old guys who've given up anyway. I'm talking guys like in their 35s, 40s, 50s and onwards. They just get to a point where it's kind of a routine of laziness or a routine of a system that just doesn't, for them, suit the purpose for what they're here, i.e. just chill out, i.e. just have a girlfriend, i.e. just getting on a bike and riding somewhere. So they slip, and once you slip, 4, 5, 6 months later, you really do find it difficult to get yourself back on track. And it becomes even harder because once you've done it once and you slip for another couple of months, it gets harder the next time and the next time and the next time. So before long, you find excuses not to continue, as I found out from these guys. The discussions, the dialogues with them, is always some reason they've got in the back of their heads why they can't pursue it or be as consistent as they would like to. Now, I'm fortunate because I grew up always doing fitness stuff, being in the armed forces. Even when I came out of the armed forces and I was traveling, I still did some exercises, Tai Chi, bit of Kung Fu. I was running, I was hiking, anything. I did something, walked up mountains. So that's never been an issue for me. Though even I am finding that here. I've been in 10 months in the Philippines and I'm still beginning to find that kind of a lag. In other words, I am doing it, but I'm doing it with less a passion than I would have done, say 4 months back. So I'm having to ramp myself up. I have to sit back and go, right, Chris, what is the feeling how does this make you feel when you do it? Right. And how does it feel when you don't do it? And that's the thing that kicks my butt, is I know if I let myself slip and I don't do it for 3 days, 4 days a week, and not that I do, but if I did, I know that effect I'm going to have. Psychologically, it's going to make me give up on myself. It's going to make me feel less of the person that I am. I'm also going to feel a sense of guilt because I know I should be doing better. I know as I'm getting older, I need to keep this thing going. It's not even about keeping the stability. You've got to always have an incremental betterment. You can't just say you're going to be, I'll just maintain. Maintaining isn't enough. You've got to do a little bit more as you get older, strangely enough. You might get leaner if you have a good diet. If you don't and you start eating the food you have here, the sweet stuff, the salty stuff, the pork, the meats, the stuff like that, you're going to put weight on. The calories are going to mount up. So you really need to formulate a plan. And even if you vary it, maybe you have 2 or 3 plans. One day you do this, next day you do that. But just keep it interesting, vary it. At least that gives some refreshing sense of, you have a drive. You sometimes get up and you think, oh gosh, no. But you know what? If I don't do it, I know I'm going to feel an hour later, 2 hours later. And this is what happens. So I'm always finding myself something different. Press-ups today, burpees tomorrow, running on the spot, long walk, come back, Tai Chi, maybe a bit of Kung Fu, anything. Do DIY around the house. If you've got a gym, great. But the gym makes people lazy as well. Because they'll go there, they stand there talking for hours, and in fact they do probably 30 minutes of workout, if that, and it's not even enough to bring your heart rate, cardiovascular going. So it's kind of a lying to yourself. So guys, if you're coming, try to maintain this thing because it's so effective, and drinking sweet drinks and all the sweet foods over here is a definite no-no. I mean, you've got to be even more careful about that and keep a track on that. So I'm finding myself drinking more and more water. Even if I don't want to always drink water, I might have a cola once a week or something, but you really need to stick to that, or it's gonna hit you. You know, you're gonna have a higher blood pressure, you're gonna have diabetes levels start to rise. This kind of shit you don't want. So I'll leave it at that, guys. But you know, if you come in here, if you're already here, get back in shape, make it happen.